Brothers and sisters, thank you and good morning. If you've heard me speak before, you know I'm going to say the next sentence because I truly mean it with all my heart. It continues to be an honor and a privilege to serve as your first vice president and your national safety coordinator. Now, getting a trust tree here. What I love the most about our profession is that I know we kid around, but we all love our jobs. We love to fly. It's the only reason you're in this room today, all right? No one could do this job if there wasn't a true passion to do this. You wouldn't be here, or you wouldn't be alive. So we got one of the best jobs in the world. I love that profession because it compels us to even make it better. This common and strong bond is what makes us the largest and most influential airline pilot union in the world, bar none. We are the Airline Pilots Association, and we represent Canada and the United States. And we, along with our brothers and sisters in labor, are those who keep our passengers and cargo flying and arriving safely at their destinations. And I add safely and securely. We are organized, speaking together in one collective voice, being stronger together than we could ever be alone. And that doesn't mean our individuality gets lost in that shuffle. Oh no. But we consciously choose to focus not on our differences, but on our commonalities. We choose to find strength in our diversity. And that, my brothers and sisters, that's our secret sauce. That's what makes ALPA so great and provides the energy that fuels our association's flight, lifting the interests of our entire membership higher. We are with whom the public can rely on when they say, and we say, schedule with safety. We are ALPA, the Airline Pilots Association. Now, having said all that, personally speaking, I want to say that I've truly felt I've grown so much as a member of this strong union, but specifically the past 2 years as a national officer serving with these fine gentlemen to my left and my right have been truly the pinnacle of my professional life. I've learned so much from the pilots with whom I interact. They inspire me to work harder every day. So during my report this morning, I'll share developments and efforts of the ALPA's Air Safety Organization, consisting of safety, security, and pilot assistance groups. And of course, as always, I'll touch on the great strides that we're making with ALPA-PAC. Now, the ASO, Air Safety Organization, is the might of ALPA. Today, that might is propelled by more than 400 talented and dedicated pilot ASO representatives, supported and complemented by a full-time, top-notch ALPA staff, many in this room today, who together personify ALPA's credibility, respect, and prestige. They continue to build upon ALPA's bedrock mission, schedule with safety. And the April issue of our magazine, if you haven't read it, really does a fantastic job of detailing just everything the ASO does. David, thank you so much for this. You did this is our new director. Dave, why don't you stand up for a second? Dave Weaver, our new director for communications, done an actually fantastic job. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. All right, so if you please, I recommend you, highly recommend you read this particular issue. I think you'll be surprised at what you learn about how much this organization does 24/7 on behalf of its pilots in the areas of safety, security, and pilot assistance. Now, that triad of expertise, or my trinity, as I sometimes call it, in safety, security, and pilot assistance is why ALPA is often front and center in the halls of power. Both in industry and government, in both Canada and the United States, our pilot representatives are led by a truly outstanding group of professional luminaries. And let me introduce a couple here today because they're with us. So, Captain Jerry McDermott, United Captain, Pilot Assistance Chair. Jerry, would you please stand up? There's Jerry. Captain Wolfgang Koch, Aviation Security Chair. Wolfgang. Now, our newest chairman, who took over for Captain Chuck Hogeman from United, is Captain Steve Jangelis. He can't be with us here today. He's busy doing something else very important. And, but he's done absolutely a stellar job. It's amazing. Just incredible, seamless transition, incredible. But I do have his instead. I have two other people that I'd like to introduce. I have, if you like UASs, I got the Aircraft Design and Operation Director, the chair of the Aircraft Design and Operation, Brian Lesko from United. Brian, are you here? There he is, right back there. So if you have any questions regarding UAS or anything to do with aircraft design, that's your man. And of course, we got a rock star with us today, Louise Cullinan. She is our CIRP chair. And if you've ever had the unfortunate experience to ever have to call her or call us about that, probably 99% of the letters we get from outside the organization internal is because of this amazing woman and the work that she does within the day. Louise, would you please stand up? Thank you, Louise. Thank you. Thank you so much for your service, all of you. I'm sorry I embarrassed you, but I love doing that anyway. So, without their collective efforts, as well as those who laid the foundation in the years prior, the ASO would not be the authority it is today. Now, the ASO, and indeed our very organization, exists because of the nature of our profession. I mean, let's face it, folks. Flying several tons of metal, right? Well, let me rephrase that. Maybe mostly composite now. And fuel at thousands of feet above the earth carries with it risks. All right? We're all risk experts, though. And our job as pilots is to manage those risks whenever and wherever they arise. And one of those risks, and Captain Knoll just mentioned it, that potentially affect the safety of every pilot in this room and our entire industry comes from undeclared hazardous materials. We're advocating for the development and education and awareness campaigns to stamp out the threat posed by undeclared hazardous materials. Now, it's impossible for most of us as pilots to know exactly what is in our cargo holds. It's just impossible. But they should be able to be confident to know what isn't in their cargo holds. So, as a problem that is being driven right now either by greed or ignorance or whatever the hell it is, it neither have a place on a commercial airliner. We need shippers to give an honest accounting of what's in their shipments, make the contents of Hazardous clearly visible to anyone handling its transport, seek out those not conforming to these important safety policies, and penalize those who don't comply for putting us all at risk. Now, as far as the legal declared shipments of lithium batteries are concerned, we have made a lot of progress. I'm very proud to say that. Incredible effort. In leading the charge to harmonize the domestic hazardous material regulations in the United States, the new ICAO recommendations, requirements that govern international shipments just took effect on April 1st of 2016. These ICAO guidelines include a temporary ban on the shipment of lithium-ion batteries on passenger aircraft until adequate packaging standards are in place, and a ban on shipping lithium batteries with more than a 30% charge on cargo aircraft, including requiring shipments of accepted batteries, sometimes referred to as Section 2, to be limited to 2 batteries or 8 cells per package. That's a big win. Now, the work continues in this area. Rest assured, the Air Safety Organization representatives will continue to address this threat for our members. Now, shifting to another hot topic, recently the Airline Safety and Federal Aviation Extension Act of 2010 has once again come under attack by those looking to hire less qualified pilots in order to, not make it safer, folks, in order to keep the pay and the benefits low. We will do everything we can to preserve the safety regulations that have led to the safest period in the history of commercial aviation, as there has not been one passenger fatality on a United States Part 121 air carrier due to an accident since the law was enacted. I wish I could say the same about cargo. I've got to look at my chairman over there. But we're working on it because the risk profile in the cargo world, when you overlay the risks that we deal with on the backdrop of non-SIA-based flight time, duty time rules that Tim's been trying to help us achieve, there's a force multiplier in there that's ugly. But we're making progress. We are making progress. There's a lot on the table. And Paul Ryder has done an absolutely, as a resource coordinator, has done an unbelievable job protecting the FOQ rules. Thank you, Paul. Paul deserves a round of applause for that. He's done an amazing job. reflecting here a little bit. In an ever-changing world, a Chinese blessing, or a curse, depending on your point of view, says, may you live in interesting times. Well, I certainly think this qualifies, okay? We definitely live in interesting times, especially for aviation and pilots. We see challenges that our union's founders could have never imagined, sharing the airspace with drones or operated aircraft from the ground. Now, the rapid rise in the availability and popularity of drones is indeed an illustration of just how far we've come with technology. But it also demonstrates the need to be safety-focused in all times. Each month, pilots and air traffic controllers report more than 100 sightings to the FAA. 100 a month, folks. And while both the Canadian and American governments have programs to raise awareness, these reports have surged since 2014, with more than 1,200 incidents last year in 2016 alone. That's unacceptable. And Canada has also seen a rapid rise in reported occurrences of UAS, with, believe it or not, a 10-fold increase in drone encounters year over year. Dan, I appreciate your support in helping us put a stop to that. Now, the safe integration of UAS into the national airspace is a major focus for this association. Our ASO representatives successfully defend ALPA pilots' interest on a number of UAS rulemaking committees, working groups, and task forces. ALPA has a seat on the FAA's Drone Advisory Committee, Capt. I'm on the subcommittee and a task group dealing with funding on the issue of on the unmanned aviation safety team, and we have presented on numerous panels with other stakeholders, and this participation has led to the development of regulations that govern small, that's less than 55-pound UAS aircraft, as well as assisted in developing regulations in Canada for recreational drone operators, one of the biggest loopholes and problems that we have. Restricted use near high-risk areas such as airports. That's what we're trying to do. So let's switch gears for a second and talk about what's coming up, all right? Work on this summer's Air Safety Forum is ramping up and promises to be another showcase of the good work your association does. How many people have been to an Air Safety Forum? I got to tell you, you really need to go, okay? I mean, it's going to be, in terms of MEC dollars, it's going to be money well spent. Send as many of your pilots as you can. They're going to learn. They're going to see what's going on. I thought I had a view of this. I even thought I had a view of it when I was an EVP, but until I became National Safety Coordinator, trust me, on a 24/7 basis, there's an incredible amount of energy and work being done. And this promises, again, to be another great event where we open the door to everyone who sees the ASO for what it is and what we do and how we're working to better to make and safeguard our skies that we cherish. Now, being the enthusiastic fellow I am about this from time to time, the Air Safety Forum has become really, truly a highlight for me, as if you couldn't tell. And I look forward to sharing this, when I say this, with the world, because people view this thing from all over the world. They sign on the web and they do that. People come from all over the world to attend this. This is our largest show every year, and I think every pilot should support it. And, you can help. How, you ask? Well, I'll tell you how. You can do exactly what I just asked you to do, and please participate this and support the pilots and all the ASO representatives that you have at your MECs, because without them, we couldn't do this. We could not have a show like that. And it really makes a big difference. There's a lot of outsiders that are looking at us, and we stand strong. So I'd encourage you to please do that. Now, talk some Wolfgang stuff here for a second. In this age of growing unrest, we all have to turn the TV on, open up your computer, and you see what's going on in the world, right? We must talk about the matter of security and prevention of intentional harm to our passengers, our planes, our crews, and the public at large, because their lives, their security, the safety is entrusted to us, right? Last month, the ASO hosted a one-day aviation security conference where industry and government leaders, together with ALPA pilots, spoke and discussed key issues, such as UAS detection and mitigation technologies, because there's a lot of evil things that people can do with the UAS technology, enhancement to cargo security, cybersecurity concerns, and the future of the Federal Flight Deck Duty Officer Program. There was a lot of great dialogue and frank discussion on these pressing matters, and it reinforced our willingness and ability to do what we do best, collaborate with others in a fight that we are all in together. Safety is common to everyone, folks. Security is common to everyone. And we're at the point where this is great, because Wolfgang unbelievable, did such an unbelievable job here. We're at the point where we can use what we've learned from non-punitive safety reporting programs such as FOCA and ASAP that we've used to create predictive, not forensic, but predictive safety analytical products. Now we're having discussions on developing those same concepts, right? Non-punitive, proactive reporting practices, and just culture that goes along with it to the field of aviation security. I hope to have more to report at this next gathering of this august body. Yeah. The Known Crew Member Program. Love it, use it. I use it myself very often. The program that our members and others in the industry outside our association love us for the most continues to grow. I think we're up to 73 spots now. It's a fantastic program. But the greatest recent win for KCM, starting earlier this month, the allowance of federal flight deck duty officers to access this time-saving system. I mean, it didn't really make sense when you consider the screening they've gone through. It shows us that the TSA is serious when they say that they want us to make it, they want to make it easier, rather, as possible for FFDOs to get to their aircraft, just like we try. These volunteers submit to rigorous background checks and train on their own time. It's gratifying to see the agency support these armed pilots, which, as we all know, folks, they're the last line of defense in the cockpit. They're the TCAS with a gun. I mean, they are the last line of defense when all goes wrong. So allowing them to benefit from KCM increases, bottom line, increases security for all of us. Now, furthermore, the FFDO program is enjoying a renaissance of sorts, I'm happy to announce. Its realignment with the TSA to the Federal Air Marshal Service under the Office of Law Enforcement. Having it under the Office of Law Enforcement recognizes the program's value and worth as a true law enforcement entity. That's big. The program is expanding to include more training facilities, more training courses, and yes, of course, more FFDOs. But one of the greatest services your association provides to its members is in the realm of pilot assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I could literally speak for hours on the importance of the work of this often unrecognized arm of the ASO and what they do. And I speak from personal experience when I tell you that every volunteer who works within pilot assistance is an individual asset, a shining jewel in the crown that underscores the true purpose of a union. We're not a company here, we're a union. We are all in this profession together and are here to lift each other up. And when the chips are down, trust me, folks, they are up, out there doing a lot of the heavy lifting. They have possessed, this is not a touchy-feely thing, folks. This is scientific. They can walk into a person's, if you're going through something in PA, it's probably not your best day. These people are incredible. You got to watch them work. And I encourage you all to take a CIRP course, take a pro stand course. We do 6,000 hours of training a year. People come from all over to do this. I've always said, you can judge the character of an organization by the way it comes to its members in need. And we owe them a debt of gratitude that could never be repaid. So thank you very much, Jerry. Hey, it so happens the Pilot Assistance Forum is right around the corner. And I'm truly looking forward to it next month. And you should too. You want to hear about the continuing good works that they're doing for us all daily. They are simply the best in the areas of aeromedical, human intervention and motivation studies, or HIMSS, critical incident response programs, CIRP, Canadian pilot assistance, professional standards, and one of the great things about that Tim and I both enjoy the most is recognizing our award winners. And we do a lot of different jobs as national officers, but recognizing the service of our pilot volunteers is probably our favorite. And it stands to be, we got a keynote speaker who is the vice chairman of the NTSB, Robert Sumwalt, now acting chairman, who will be the keynote speaker, and the festivities will be held at Udvar-Hazy. I mean, if you've never been to Udvar-Hazy for one of those, it's really going to be a wonderful evening, great evening. And finally, in my role, I promise this, as a Political Action Committee treasurer, I want to shift the focus inside the Beltway for a moment. The ALPA-PAC continues to stand strong and support those governmental leaders who protect professional pilots. And even though Washington is drastically different this year, the relationships we've built through ALPA-PAC allow us to break through the noise where others can't. In 2016, we set a goal of $2 million and 24% membership participation. At year's end, we had 24.7% of ALPA pilots who made contributions to the PAC, and we raised $1.96 million. For 2017, we've set a goal of 27% PAC participation and $2.25 million in PAC receipts. I hope we will make it. We will make it. So please encourage your pilots to start contributing to the PAC, even if it's just $1 a paycheck. Their participation matters. And anybody who has a question about what gets done by our GA folks that do an incredible job on our behalf, while you're busy working at the negotiating table, trust me, they are up on Capitol Hill, pounding the pavement, delivering. It is a combination attack, and it really works, folks. It pays off. During the 2016 election cycle, ALPA-PAC contributed more than $3.4 million to pilot partisan champions, split 48% Republicans, 52% Democrat. Now, let me repeat that. Our PAC gives to Republicans and Democrats. We are not a one-party PAC. I keep saying that. Still hear people say it. We are a pilot partisan and bipartisan, which means that ALPA has connections to Congress no matter who controls the House or the Senate. We were the most bipartisan labor PAC in the country last cycle, and our outreach to all sides of the political spectrum gives us a leg up on those who oppose us. It's probably the most widely spread false rumor about the PAC around. So if you hear another pilot say, please step in. If they say, oh, we only give the Democrats, set the record straight. That's your moment. Brothers and sisters, finish up here. Thank you for your attention here. We made immense progress in improving what is already the safest and most secure form of transportation in the history of the world. But the work of the ASO will always continue. And the work that we will do and you will do will never stop. The future is vast, uncertain, and ever-changing. But as elected ALPA representatives and the volunteers and our volunteers, we too, we are ever-changing. We adapt. We ourselves evolve. We become transformed by our experiences, the challenges we face, the work that we do, the good work that we do. We learn, we adapt, we build upon the good work of those who came before us, and more importantly, as Tim has always hit, we prepare the road ahead for those who will follow in our footsteps. So in the words of a Greek philosopher, Heraclitus, no man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he is not the same man. Sorry for the sexist connotation, Charlene. You know what I mean, all right? As we cultivate the next generation of airline pilots, we're also shaping our next union leaders and our future safety representatives. Now, the baton will continue to pass because we are truly powered by pilots. Thank you very much for your attention today, and please continue to fly safely. Thank you.